In 2013, Vodafone, a giant telecommunications company, decided to release a marketing campaign entirely centered around a story that was fabricated. The story being on the surface actually a very beautiful, interesting story about the last two remaining speakers of an indigenous language in Mexico called Ayapaneco that refused to speak to each other. Apparently they had some argument a long time ago and they hated each other, but Vodafone stepped in and basically helped them reconcile, built a school where they could pass the language on, convinced them to help preserve the language, except that this was false. Honestly, this story is actually crazy. After having read different accounts of it, many people were perpetuating this lie, and then Vodafone kind of heard about it, ran with it. They showed up and then realized it was a lie, but they went ahead with it anyways. Kind of crazy. They even made a beautiful, inspiring ad to showcase everything they did to help the community, to help these two men reconcile, which we will watch and analyze later. If you enjoy language-related content like this or about learning languages, then I implore you to smash that subscribe button. All right, let's get to the video. Okay, so to begin understanding the story, we need to meet this man, Daniel Suslak. He is a linguistic anthropologist who in 2004 went to meet the remaining speakers of Ayapaneco. There, he primarily spent his time working with Manuel and Isidro. So Manuel is the main guy. He's the only one who still uses Ayapaneco on a daily basis. He uses it with his wife, who actually can understand him and knows some words. And on top of that, Isidro has siblings who speak the language. Not fluently, apparently, but they speak the language. Okay, so we kind of know who the actors are in the story, so it's time to watch the video and analyze it. All right, here it is. Here's the advertisement. It literally is still live on YouTube. You can go watch it right now. Not sure why they kept it live, but they did. So anyways, let's dive in. Middle of Mexico. Tabasco is not the middle of Mexico. Okay, well, all right, I'm just gonna stop it there. It says, okay, let's go back. It says the only two speakers are left on Earth. This is documented false. Just for a quick example, Isidro's younger sister was fluent enough to hold conversations at length. In addition to that, Isidro's older brother Ignacio actually knew quite a few words and could understand the conversations. Again, documented. We know that this claim is false. All right, let's keep going. Okay, just gonna stop it there. Last two sentences, false. Okay, the claim that the last time they talked to each other was 10 years ago, we again know that this is not true. The fact is, they just didn't know each other that well, okay? Just because you live in the same city as somebody does not mean that you know everybody. And this second claim here, split apart by a fight about the language, like the idea that they had a fight to begin with, again, is false. In fact, a local news station, Noticieros Televisas, actually aired a segment about Manuel and Isidro and said that they were split apart by a fight and that basically painted them in a negative light. Manuel specifically found out about it, got upset enough to submit complaints to the news station so that they would issue a correction, which ultimately they did issue a correction saying, we know that they are not to say enemies, but we know they are apart. We know they are two people with little in common, thus corroborating the truth, what actually is the case. All right, let's keep going.
Lo que pasa, los chilos no saben.
Pero como yo no tengo ya con quién hablar.
Okay, at this point, you might be thinking, isn't that Manuel and Isidro? Well, yeah, it is. They're both in this ad, but according to sources from within the community, Daniel Suslak mentions this in one of his papers, they were paid to do this. And in fact, two of the other speakers who had contributed greatly to the dictionary, to preserving Ayapaneco, were paid to not be in this advertisement. The story is that Vodafone heard about the story, thought it was beautiful, showed up to the community, realized, okay, well, this is all based on a lie. There are more than two speakers, paid the other speakers to not be in the advertisement, to basically be quiet. It's crazy. All right, let's keep going.
There's some people who think that when a language dies, the knowledge of that people about their natural surroundings dies with it.
How can they be brought back together? They were not, like, they didn't
But
hate
you have
each
to
other.
realize there's so many languages going, we can't really stop that. It's like trying to rescue a species from extinction.
Hemos tratado de hacer todo lo posible para volverlos a reunir y para poder trabajar juntos.
Prácticamente ellos pues han vivido peleando por eso. No se le entiende, la verdad.
En vez de pelear, que se unan los dos y le enseñen a la gente su idioma.
Okay, and here's where it starts getting kind of gross. Okay, yeah, they're showing they're building a school, okay? It was already built, okay? We're gonna get to a part where they like paint like a picture of Manuel and Isidro on there. Okay, when Vodafone left, right? First of all, this is a paid construction crew. It's not like this is the community, all right? This is a paid construction crew. Again, all my sources will be linked in the description. If you do not believe me, like, it's in the description. Go look. Families and friends did not work hand in hand, okay? It was a construction crew. Okay, rescuing their heritage, like saving this dying language. Like, I mean, it's all being painted as though Vodafone is the reason that this language is being preserved. No, it's like for years prior to Vodafone showing up, work had been put in by Manuel and Isidro, I'd like to add, to preserve the language. So this is just insane. Okay, real quick, let's just talk about this guy, James Fox, because he was mentioned previously in the video, and here he is showing up again. Essentially, the skinny on this guy is that Daniel Suslak, the work he was doing on the Ayapaneco dictionary, essentially, Daniel Suslak in 2004, he came in, he picked up where James Fox had left off. He had been doing this in the 1990s. So, like I mentioned, all of this preservation had been going on for years before Vodafone stepped in and saved the community, saved the language, the heritage.
Mucho gusto, hermano.
As you're watching this, just keep in mind that this is acting. It's not real. The unbelievable
Chilo, ¿cómo estás?
Exactly.
Participen con nosotros en las clases.
You are invited to participate in the first Ayapaneco lesson. Okay, again, documented. We know they were already giving lessons. They were already teaching with the school that was already built. Okay? Insane.
De la escuela Ayapaneco.
Uno, dos, tres.
¡Felicidades! ¡Un aplauso!
The first time I ever heard them speak together in Ayapaneco was at the fiesta.
Actually, finally, they agreed on one version of Ayapaneco. This is actually something very interesting. Essentially, both of them, because they never really knew each other, even though they both spoke Ayapaneco, spoke slightly different versions of it. In fact, a lot of Daniel Suslak's work was in documenting like the differences between their two versions. Okay.
I think it's nice that Manuel and Isidro are trying to teach the kids. Well, the children are the future for this language.
Okay, all right, it's just a bunch of BS after that. You get the point. So basically, Vodafone did nothing except lie about their charity and their altruism, and they got away with it. You know, really on its face, this story is just too interesting. It's too poetic. It kind of makes a lot of sense actually why this lie got perpetuated. Even Daniel Suslak in one of his papers mentions that he was kind of also perpetuating this myth himself because of how easy it was to communicate to other people. He says, I did not come up with this account, but I was complicit in crafting and disseminating it even though I knew better. Okay, that's crazy. The guy who was actually preserving it was kind of contributing to the problem. Okay, so where did this fabricated story come from in the first place? Obviously, Vodafone did not entirely invent the whole thing. They kind of heard about it, then found out it was a lie and still went through with the advertisement, painting themselves as some saviors. To be honest, I could not figure out exactly where it came from. Supposedly it started circulating in 2006. In 2007, December 1st, 2007, there was on the Chicago Public Radio a broadcast, a segment called Bluff the Listener Challenge, where the panelists take turns summarizing oddball news items, and then a caller has to guess which of their reports is real and which ones are fake. I guess in one of these segments, the story of Manuel and Isidro was told, and it was told not truthfully. Okay, so I'm going to assume that, like myself, at this point, you're probably wondering, okay, it's 2024. This thing was released in 2013. Like, where are Manuel and Isidro now? Well, to be honest, I could not find anything online about where they are today. If you kind of search this story, you just sort of end up getting like the original articles, like this video that they posted on YouTube. There's nothing kind of with an update, and I'm not sure how to find that out. If anyone knows what happened to them, they were older. It's possible that they passed away, but you know, that'd be pretty cool if they were still alive. I'd also be very curious to see kind of just how the project has been going in general, as far as teaching, passing the language on to the younger generations. Honestly, my conclusion to this is that it's just kind of more of the same, more corporate greed, more fake corporate altruism. Don't forget that corporations don't actually care about you. They don't care about helping the world. They care about profits, okay? And if that means taking advantage of a local community to, you know, put out their fake story, their fake marketing campaign, okay, then they're gonna do it. That's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, then again, please smash that subscribe button. I'm gonna be making more videos like this in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.